Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today we will read the Unit 5 of NCERT Class 12 Computer Science, which is Communication Technologies. In this unit we will be reading Chapter 1, which is Networking Concepts 1. So these are the learning objectives and you can pause the video and read it. We are going to start. So communication means to convey. In today's fast changing world, data needs to be transferred efficiently, frequently and speedily. To move data at a fast speed and that to the minimum data loss, networking plays an important role. Computer networks have made a major impact on the society as a whole. As we are moved ahead in 21st century, the world seems to be converging. The merging of computers and communication technology has changed the very perspective of communication today. It has had a profound influence on the way the computer systems are organized and used today. The old model of the single computer serving all the organization's computational needs has been replaced by one in which large number of separate but interconnected computers do the same job. This system together forms a computer network. Now, what is a network? We often need peripheral devices and data to be shared among various computers. In fact, in your school's computer lab, you must have seen one printer which is connected to only one computer, serving to the needs of all the computers in the lab. How does this happen? This happens because all the lab's computers are peripherals and forming a network. They are interconnected with each other, enabling you to send and receive data from one computer to another. Hence, it can be said that two computers are interconnected if they are able to exchange information. Now, a network. Now here is a question, what is a network? A network is any collection of independent computers that communicate with one another over a shared network medium. In more simple terms, a computer network is a collection of two or more computers linked together for a purpose of sharing information and resources. When these computers are joined in a network, people can share files and peripherals such as modems, printers, backup drivers or CD-ROM drivers. Each computer on a network is called a node, and hence a network is a series of points or nodes interconnected by communication path that is also called transmission media. A network can be small, as simple as two computers that share a printer, or as complex as the world's largest network, the internet. When networks at multiple locations are connected using services available from phone companies, people can send email, share links to the global internet, or conduct video conferences in real time with other remote users. As companies rely on applications like electronic mail and database management for core business operation, computer networking becomes increasingly more important. Now, what is the need of networking? Why has networking evolved as an indispensable part of technology today? To find the answer to this question, let us have a look at the advantages of network. So, first comes resource sharing files and peripherals. First, sharing of files and software. A network enables users to share data files with each other. For example, different departments of an organization may be separated physically, being at distant places, but their data could be stored on a central computer which can be accessed by computers located in different departments. In this way, latest data can be made available at all times to all users. Files and folders can be backed up to the remote shares. Software can be installed centrally rather than on each machine, which proves to be much cheaper than buying license for every machine. Second, sharing peripherals. Laser printers and large storage media are quite expensive. Network enable us to share such resources and hence reduce the operational cost of any organization. For example, a company with about 50 computers can share resources such as printers, scanners, hard disks, etc., thereby reducing the cost considerably. Every fax system can be integrated within a network. Audio and video content can also be streamed to multiple devices. Third is sharing storage. On a network, one can access data from any machine. Hence, storage can be distributed and thus database load can be shared on a network. This even proves to be cost effective. A file can even have copies on 2 or 3 machines. Now second comes improving communication. A computer network can provide a powerful, fast and reliable communication medium among the users of various computers on a network. Using a network, it is easy for 2 or more people of say different departments or different branches to prepare a presentation together in spite of being located in different cities. In fact, the best example in this context can be use of internet. With the help of internet, we can communicate efficiently and easily via email, instant messaging, chat rooms, video telephone calls, and video conferencing. Third is access to remote database. This is another major use of network. It is easy for an average person to access any remote database, say for example airline reservations and thereby book tickets. Likewise, databases of trains, online universities, hotels, etc. can be accessed as per the requirement. Remote control or access programs can be used to troubleshoot problems or show new users how to perform a task. Like two sides of a coin, networking also has some disadvantages associated with it. The disadvantages are as follows: threat to data. A computer network may be used by unauthorized users to steal or corrupt the data and even to deploy computer viruses or computer worms on a network. File security has to be taken care of, especially if connected to WAN. WAN is wide area network. We will read it next. Second is difficult to set up. The systems on a network are more sophisticated and complex to run. Sometimes setting up a network, especially larger networks, may turn out to be a difficult task. If systems are badly managed, services can become unusable. In addition to this, large networks may also be very costly to set up and maintain. Often specialists may be needed to run and maintain the network. Next is evolution of networking. Networking started way back in 1969 with the development of first network called ARPANET or ARPANET. The US Department of Defense sponsored a project named ARPANET. Full form is Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. Again, Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, whose goal was to connect computers at different universities and US defense. Soon, engineers, scientists, students, and researchers who were part of this system began exchanging data and message on it. Gradually, they could play long-distance games and also socialize with people. Hence, ARPANET expanded rapidly. In mid-80s, the National Science Foundation created a new high-capacity network called NSFNet, which allowed only academic researchers on its network. So many private companies built their own network, which were later interconnected along with ARPANET and NSFNet to form Internet, a network formed by linking two or more networks. Now the topic is Internet. The Internet is a system of linked networks that are worldwide in scope and facilitates data communication service such as remote login, file transfer, electronic mail, and World Wide Web and news group. The Internet is made up of many networks, each run by different companies and are interconnected at peering points. It is really a network of networks spread across the globe, all of which are connected to each other. This super network is a glorified WAN in many respects. It connects many smaller networks together that allow the computer to exchange information with each other through the common set of rules for communication. These rules are called protocols, and Internet uses Transmission Control Protocol or Internet Protocol, which is also called TCP or IP. Programs such as web browser, file transfer protocol clients, and email clients are some of the most common ways through which users work on the Internet. With the meteoric rise in demand for connectivity, the Internet has become the communications highway for millions of users. The Internet was initially restricted to military and academic institutions, but now it is a full-fledged conduit for any and all forms of information and commerce. Internet websites now provide personal, educational, political, and economic resources to every corner of the planet. Now, interspace. Interspace, it is a client or server software program. It is a client-server software program that allows multiple users to communicate online with real-time audio, video, and text chat in dynamic 3D environment. It provides the most advanced form of communication technology available today. It is a vision of what internet will become tomorrow. The users will be able to communicate in multiple ways and from multiple sources instantly. Requirement of a network. Every network includes at least two computers, server or client workstation. Network interface card. A connection medium, usually a wire or cable, although wireless communication between networked computers or peripherals is also possible. Network operating system software such as Microsoft Windows NT or 2000, novel NetWare, Unix and Linux. Now, network technologies. Before continuing our study on networks, let us first learn about some terminologies commonly used in networking. First is nodes. A computer becomes a node, also known as workstation, as soon as it is attached to a network. Each user on a network works on a workstation. If there are no nodes, there would be no network. Second is server, a computer that facilitates sharing of data, software and hardware resources on the network is known as server. A network can have more than one server also. Each server has a unique name by which it is identified by all the nodes on the network. Server can be of two types. First is dedicated and second is non-dedicated server. Now, what is dedicated server? These are generally used on big network installation where one computer is reserved for server's job. It helps all nodes access data, software and hardware resources. Since it does not double up as workstation but only manages the network, so it is known as dedicated server, and such type of network are called master-slave networks. This is important term, master-slave networks. Now, what is non-dedicated servers? In a small network, a workstation can double up as a server. These servers are known as non-dedicated servers. The small networks using such a server is known as peer-to-peer networks. Also on the network, there may be several servers that allow workstation to share specific resources. For example, a file server which takes care of files related to related requests, a printer server taking care of printing requirements, and a modem server that helps group of users to use a modem. Now, network interface unit, NIU. A network interface unit is a device that is attached to each of the workstation and server which help to establish communication between the server and workstation. As soon as a standalone computer becomes a workstation, it needs an interface to help establish connection with the network, because without this, the workstation will not be able to share network resources or communicate with each other. The NIC basically acts as an interpreter, is also known as Terminal Access Point (TAP) or Network Interface Card (NIC). The NIC manufacturer assigns an unique physical address to each NIC card, and this physical address is known as MAC address. Now, switching techniques. Switching techniques are used to efficiently transmit data across the network. The two types of switching techniques are employed nowadays to provide communication between two computers on a network are circuit switching and packet switching. Now, circuit switching. Circuit switching is a technique in which a dedicated and complete physical connection is established between two nodes, and through this dedicated communication channel, the nodes may communicate. The circuit guarantees the full bandwidth of the channel and remains connected for duration of communication session. Even if no communication is taking place in the dedicated circuit, the channel still remains unavailable to other users, also called idle channels. The defining examples of circuit switched network is an early analog telephone network. When a call is made from one telephone to another, switches within the telephone exchange create a continuous wire circuit between two telephones for as long as the call lasts. Now, packet switching. Packet switching is a switching technique in which packets, which are discrete blocks of data of fixed size and of any content type or structure, are routed between nodes over data links shared with other traffics. The term packet refers to the fact that the data stream from the network is broken up into packets of about 200 bytes on average, which are then sent out onto the network. Each packet contains a header with information necessary for routing the packet from source to destination. Each packet in the data stream is independent. The main advantage of packet switching is that packets from many different sources can share a line, allowing for every efficient use of communication medium. With current technology, packets are generally accepted onto the network on a first come, first served basis. If the network becomes overloaded, packets are delayed or discarded, which means dropped. This method of data transmission became the fundamental networking technology behind the internet and most local area network, which are also called LAN. Now coming to type of network. A network may be a small group of interlinked computers to a chain of few hundred computers of different types. For example, personal computer, mini computer, mainframe, etc. The computers may be localized or spread around the world. Thus, networks vary in terms of their size and complexity. Various types of networks are discussed below. First is PAN, Personal Area Network. A personal area network is a computer network organized around an individual person. Personal area network typically involve a mobile computer, a cell phone, and or a handheld computing device such as PDA. You can use this network to transfer files including email and calendar appointment, digital photos, and music. Personal area network can be constructed with cables or be wireless. USB and FireWire technologies often link together a wired PAN, while wireless PANs typically use Bluetooth or sometimes infrared connection. Bluetooth PANs generally cover a range less than 10 meters, about 30 feet. PANs can be viewed as a special type of local area network that supports one person instead of a group. Now LAN, which is also called local area network. In a LAN, network devices are connected over a relatively short distance. These are generally privately owned networks within a single building or campus of up to few kilometers in size. LANs can be small, linking as few as 3 computers, but often link hundreds of computers used by thousands of people. This means that many users can share expensive devices such as laser printers as well as data on the LAN. Users can also use LAN to communicate with others by sending mails or engaging in chat sessions. Nowadays, we also use WLAN, which is wireless LAN, which is based on wireless network. One LAN can even be connected to other LANs over any distance via telephone lines and radio waves. However, there is also limit on the number of computers that can be attached to a single LAN. The development of standard networking protocols and media has resulted in worldwide proliferation of LANs throughout business and educational organizations. MAN, Metropolitan Area Network. This is basically a bigger version of LAN and normally uses similar technology. It might cover few buildings in a city and might either be private or public. This is a network which spans a physical area that is larger than LAN but smaller than a WAN. MANs are usually characterized by very high speed connection using optical fibers or other digital media and provides uplink service to wide area network, which is WAN, and the internet. For example, in a city, a MAN which can support both data and voice might even be related to local cable television network. The MAN, its communications links and equipments are generally owned by either a consortium of users or by a single network provider who sells the service to users. Since MAN adopts technologies from both LAN and WAN to serve its purpose, it is also frequently used to provide a shared connection to other networks using a link to a WAN, wide area network. As terms implies, WAN spans a large geographical area, often a country or a continent, and uses various commercial and private communication lines to connect computers. Typically, a WAN combines multiple LAN and are geographically separated. This is accomplished by connecting the different LANs using service such as dedicated leased phone lines, dial-up phone lines, satellite links, high-speed fiber optics cables, and data packet carrier services. Wide area networking can be as simple as a modem and remote access server for employees to dial into, or it can be as complex as hundreds of branch offices globally linked using specific routing protocols and filters to minimize the expense of sending data sent over vast distances. Let us take an example of local telephone exchange, which is a part of WAN. The computers at each telephone exchange connect to other exchange to allow you to talk to people all over the world. The internet is the largest WAN spanning the entire earth. Data communication technologies. Before we proceed with our studies of network, let us learn about some data communication technologies. First is channel. A communication channel is a medium that is used in transmission of message from one point to another. In simple terms, we can say that it is a pathway over which data is transferred between remote devices. It may refer to entire physical medium such as telephone line, optical fiber, coaxial cable or twisted pair cable, or it may refer to one of the server carrier frequencies transmitted simultaneously within the line. Depending on their speed, we have three broad categories of communication channel: narrowband, which is slow and used for telegraph lines and low speed terminals; voice band, used for ordinary telephone communication; and broadband, which is fastest and used for transmitting large volumes of data in high speed. Now, what is bandwidth? In electronic communication, bandwidth refers to the range of frequencies available for transmission of data. It is expressed as difference in hertz between the highest frequencies and the lowest frequency. For example, typical voice signal has a bandwidth of approximately 3 kHz. Wider the bandwidth of communication system, greater is the capacity and hence greater is the amount of data that can be transmitted over a period of time. In computer networking, bandwidth is often used as synonym for data transfer rate, about which you will read in next subtopic. Now, the subtopic comes here: data transfer rate. The data transfer rate, also known as DTR, is the amount of data in digital form that is moved from one place to another in a given time of a network. As studied before, the greater the bandwidth of a given medium, the higher is the data transfer rate. This can be also be referred to the throughput. Although data transfer rate applies specifically to digital data stream, data transfer rate is often measured in bit per second. Although the unit is baud, which is 1 bit per second, is also used. It is commonly used to measure how fast data is transferred from one location to another. For example, your ISP may offer an internet connection within a maximum data transfer rate of 4 Mbps. Now, this lesson is ended. These are some definitions in Let's Revise. You can read it, but you can pause the video and read it. So, this was our video. We are going to end our video. If you like this, please like and please share to all your friends, and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thanks for giving your time.